So I've had a little bit of a move around in the cave, as you might have noticed last week or so. But I thought in my haste to do it, I thought I'll leave the insulation stuff. That can wait. It's the summer, after all. No hurry, right? I'll tell you what, bad mistake. It's cold. I don't know what's bloody happened. It's like the Grinch stole Christmas. Someone's stolen summer. So I'm sat here, freezing me whatsits off. I'll get it sorted out later on. Little bits and pieces of news today. Well, actually, I think there's two Chunkenstein stories, maybe. It's the international break, though. I actually really enjoyed watching England play football. It has to be said. I enjoyed both games. Enjoyed the Finland game, enjoyed the Ireland game, no doubt about it. But I think Premier League football for your club is just, it's like a fix, isn't it? And I think I was devoid of enough information, I think, under Lopetegui, with only, 3 league games, cup game as well. I wanted to see more. I can't wait to get my teeth back into it. Aaron Wan-Bissaka withdrawal symptoms, truth be known. So I'm looking forward to it coming back. But there's a couple of stories which have hit today. One of them is about Emerson. West Ham had a bid for Emerson, or at least transfer interest, yesterday for Emerson from Galatasaray. You think, well, how's that the case? How on earth did that happen? Well, the transfer window is still open in Turkey. It might close today. We'll deal with that in a minute. Before we do, Nayef Aguerd. Now, it's not the biggest story in the world, but it's quite an intriguing one, really, and sort of, I think, provides a little bit of an insight into West Ham's transfer dealings, or lack thereof, in terms of selling, getting rid of players. No one can criticise the players that came in, right? You know, whether you like them or whether you think the players are good, bad, or indifferent. West Ham brought a lot of players in, right? 9, I think it was 9 in the end. Getting rid of them, we didn't do quite so well, and there was a bit of a panic towards the ends. So we've basically found out a little bit more about the exit of Nayef Aguerd, who obviously ended up going to Real Sociedad on loan, but West Ham were trying to sell him. It's quite weird, because not only were West Ham trying to flog him, Nayef Aguerd had been trying to sell himself as well for the best part of a year. And it was still difficult. But some information has come from somebody called John Textor. I guess he uses his phone a lot, right? This in itself is quite confusing. He is the owner of Lyon, Olympique Lyonnais, but he also part owns Crystal Palace. And he's about to buy Everton. I don't know. I don't make up the rules. I'm not sure there are any bloody rules listening to that load of old nonsense. Anyway, so John Textor is, I don't know why the name is amusing me. The name amuses me far more than it should. How did you find out? John Textor. Anyway, John Textor, I'm going to stop saying his name now. He has revealed, probably via text actually, that West Ham, the Olympique Lyonnais, wanted to buy Nayef Aguerd in the summer. And they approached West Ham and said, "Oi, you! How much? How much?" He probably did a voice note, didn't he? How much is Nayef Aguerd? Apparently, we replied, 40 million euros in English sterling and in British sterling, whatever you bloody want to call it, 33.77 million pounds. Apparently, that seems like a lot of money. That's unrealistic, right? If it's the truth. But when you've got I think it's an honest. Can we all say that Textor is an honest? It's a communicative name, isn't it? It's an honest name. Why would he lie? I think if West Ham, honestly, when people were inquiring about Nayef Aguerd, as if to say, how much money do you want for him? If we were turning around and saying 33.77 million pounds, you can understand why we didn't sell him, which sort of makes you wonder how we got any business done at all. And the fact that he left for Real Sociedad on a loan deal, which I think might have netted us about £2 million. Look, Nayef Aguerd's value has not increased. We signed him for £30 million. It's quite clear that in that time, he hasn't got better and his value hasn't increased. He signed for West Ham before he made an appearance, got an injury in a pre-season friendly against Rangers, was out for 6 months, came back, looked a bit like a Rolls Royce. A few games later, looked like a Fiat Punto. And then he sometimes looked like a Rolls Royce again, and then sometimes looks like a Skoda. So, actually, they're quite good these days, aren't they? But anyway, the fact of the matter is, we were never going to see our £30 million back. That horse had bolted. That was gone. And I just found it a little bit weird that that's what we were asking for. But I'll tell you something. It reminded me, and I think I did a video about it at the time. And it was, I don't know, probably back in April or something like that, it got leaked, West Ham's valuation for Aguerd, and it was about that. So I remember doing a video thinking, hold on a second, we're not going to get this much money for that guy. Anyway, there you go. I thought it was, in a slow news week, I thought it was mildly interesting news anyway. Good luck with your takeover of your third club, Mr. Textor. The Emerson one, I think this is quite interesting, really. That, well, first of all, you have to question why Galatasaray thought there was any chance in them getting Emerson. I'm not offended by them making a bid. You know, that's what they do as football clubs. But what I'm more confused about is how our transfer windows differ. How the length of time or the period of time, the opening and closing dates of them varies between leagues, really. I can sort of understand it, I think, when a league is over the other side of the world, and maybe, you know, because the seasons are different, right? Can understand why in South America it might be different, for example. Turkey, I mean, you know, come on. I mean, Turkey, Galatasaray playing the Champions League, for goodness sake. They are a European club in everything they do. So I don't know why that there would be such a disparity in terms of their transfer window. Anyway, Emerson, of course, number one, West Ham said no. Number two, as Fabrizio Romano has said, Emerson is going nowhere. He's very, very happy at West Ham, which is great. That's great news. And just as well, really, because we are in a little bit of a pickle when it comes to left backs at West Ham. Look, Lopetegui said he wanted 2 players for every position. And I think technically you could say he's got it, but there is a massive difference, I think, in quality between some of them. I think, you know, you might say Mavropanos. Does it matter if Mavropanos or Todibo comes in? Look, we've not seen much of Todibo, but let's say they're comparable. Maybe you could even make a case that Rodriguez coming in is maybe comparable to what we've got there. Bowen or Kudus on the right, or, you know, it's pretty similar, isn't it? You can go through the team, and I think more or less you can find a replacement that is not a massive drop off. I think in the case of Emerson, it ain't particularly good in there. So look, we were never in a position where we could look to sell this player at all, and I don't want him to go, but it is, I think, a position that West Ham are going to have to look at really seriously in the transfer window. He's not been himself. He's not been in full flow Emerson mode, but I think a lot of that is because Lucas Paqueta's been playing more centrally. You're not getting those 1-2s. You're not getting that beautiful flair that you were getting when 2 of them were occupying that role. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we'll see it against Fulham. Maybe the Fulkrug situation will force some musical chairs, basically, which, I mean, everybody moves over one, if you know what I mean, or maybe it gets moved around, maybe it gets changed. So maybe Bowen playing up front means that I guess I don't think this will necessarily happen, but Bowen plays up front. Kudus goes and plays on the right. Maybe brings Soler in for attacking midfield, and maybe puts Paqueta on the left, and that rekindles that partnership there with Emerson. I think there's other things that will happen first, but anyway, look, Emerson's not been his best, but he's still far better than anything else we've got there, aside from Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who looks to be both, after only 4 games, the best right back and left back at the club at the moment. Maybe they can clone him. That wouldn't be a bad thing at all. So there you go. I'm really looking forward to the game. Really massively looking forward to it this weekend, actually. Look, hopefully if you've already seen our preview, go and take a look at that, myself and Gio. I think it's going to be a tough old game. What I must say is before we go any further with that, and before I finish the video... Oh, by the way, I've got some dog news. So those of you that are interested in the dog situation here, that should be... I'll have some news for you in a couple of days, basically. So, yeah, stay tuned if you're interested in that. I'll always put it at the end of the video so as not to interrupt people's flow of West Ham information. Match bingo. Get your match bingo cards. This is not like this video is sponsored by Match Bingo or anything like that. We'll do that tomorrow. But basically, pay for 3 and you get 5. It's £2 per card. You don't have to buy 3. You can only pay £2 and just get one card. We have a lot of winners again on Match Bingo. So the link is in the description below. Basically, if you've not done Match Bingo before, it's like a crossover between bingo and football. And rather than there being numbers on your bingo card, there's events that happen during the game. So yeah, but obviously on the West Ham game, West Ham Fulham, so you might want to do it now, or Fulham v West Ham, should I say. Buy 3 cards and you get 5. We had loads and loads and loads of winners. So many winners we don't know anymore. We sort of stopped counting at about 70. We've had multiple winners. Check it out. Links in the description below. I'll tell you more about it tomorrow. Right, I'm going to go. I'm going to insulate my man cave because I'm expecting snow.